Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. Bang! Yes! Okay. And today, as we work our way backwards through the S's, and now that we're done with the SCH's, we're moving with much greater efficiency, I think. Today, I have to deal with a large clump of Scarlatti. These are just Scarlatti discs that for one reason or another I enjoyed, but didn't have room for upstairs because I have plenty of Scarlatti upstairs, including the Scott Ross box and all that other stuff. So I have it all. It's up there, and piano things, and there's so much. So we're just going to whiz through these rather quickly because they're just all wonderful discs, and Scarlatti is amazing and fabulous and terrific, and his keyboard music is really. It's perfect. Let me put it to you this way. If you don't like the harpsichord, and if you don't particularly care for Baroque music, and when I was starting out, I was one of those people. I have to be fair, because I didn't come to classical music with any formal training or pattern or anybody pounding into me the fact that I just have to love Bach and Handel. And none of that happened. I had to discover it all for myself. And you begin your discovery, like with what my mother had, which was like romantic stuff mostly, Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff and Beethoven and Brahms and, the standard orchestral classics for the most part, and piano music too. And then eventually you start to get into this Baroque crap and you think it all sounds the same and it's like annoying. And I'm talking about coming at it from my perspective, not what it is, not that, I was right or anything like that. It's just the way it was. And harpsichords are particularly irritating, as we all know, because in order to tolerate them, you really have to have a great harpsichord. You need to find instruments that sound good because it's a very monotonous sounding instrument in large quantities. And I think that that's just true. Still, generally, even though I now love the instrument and love the repertoire, but it took a lot of time for me to get into it. And the one composer who I always enjoyed was Scarlatti, because first of all, he wrote the music that we listen to, 555 rather short works, 5-6 minutes at a time, so they're not too fatiguing if you listen to them on the harpsichord. Second of all, he had such a keen ear for the sound of the harpsichord. His music is made for that instrument in such a way that you really feel that he's exploiting it for all it's worth and getting all the color and expression out of it that he can. And it's so lively and brilliant, and you just can't imagine it done another way, even though it can sound marvelous on the piano. And I adore performances on the piano. But wow, if anything was written for the harpsichord, Scarlatti's was. And then I found Couperin, and his is too, in a different way a little bit, but still, it was amazing. And so Scarlatti was one of my first Baroque loves. And here are just a pile of discs that I found captivating, and in many ways still do. So let's go through them. Okay, this is in no particular order, and we're not going to spend tons of time. Just go through it. Christophe Rousset, yes, it's lovely. His a bunch of harpsichord sonatas on L'Oiseau Lyre, which is now Decca, of course. So there's that. Then there weren't that many Scarlatti discs at one point. Virginia Black on CRD. This is a gorgeous sounding record. It really is. It's absolutely wonderful. And the performances are fabulous, and I wish that she'd done so much more, because I think there's one other disc of her doing these things, but I don't remember exactly. She's fabulous. And this was one of my favorite early Scarlatti recordings. When was it made? Early for me. They have a date, 86. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. Maggie Cole, another fantastic harpsichordist who made this magnificent disc called Amon Ra label. I don't know if the label still exists. This is also an 86. And she plays a couple different harpsichords, and the contrast is delicious to hear. It's Baroque music. It depends on the instrument, like I said, and the instrument can either make you or break you. And what have we got here? Oh, Andreas Steyer, 2 discs on Deutsche Harmonia Mundi. These are very brilliant and exciting performances, and he's such a wonderful artist. I would listen to him play the telephone directory. I really would. He's great. So there are 2 discs of Steyer doing Scarlatti sonatas on Deutsche Harmonia Mundi. And this classic with Igor Kipnis, the great Igor Kipnis, the son of Alexander Kipnis, the great bass, the Boris Godunov guy. And these are wonderful too. He also was an artist who was very concerned with finding the right instrument for the right music, and he uses a whole bunch of different instruments here. I think he does. Yes, he uses a harpsichord and a clavichord in some of these things, which is really fun. So that's that. And let's see, who's this one? Oh, Leonhardt. Now, Leonhardt's Scarlatti, quite frankly, is kind of interesting because Leonhardt as an artist was so completely uninterested in sound, in pitch, in tone, and in sensuousness of tone. He was a very austere kind of guy. I mean, his music making was very austere. Sometimes it was marvelous. I don't think he was actually right for Scarlatti. I really don't. I don't think he had the fun in him. And, he certainly could play it well enough, and he does. But this is interesting to hear for that reason. And I don't think he was into selecting instruments that were that charming just for their own timbral allure. We don't put Leonhardt and allure in the same sentence. Then we've got Christian Zacharias, Volume 1, 33 sonatas on piano. And he plays them very, very nicely. They sound terrific. They really do. That's on EMI, or it was. Now it's Warner. And who's this? Oh, Ivo Pogorelic. Oh, he was nuts. He was absolutely nuts. And here he is bouncing around through these things and on the piano and doing interesting things with them and to them and around them. And I saved it because it's Pogorelic. I mean, Pogorelic, as some people call him. Maybe that's the way you do it. He tried to make a comeback fairly recently, and it didn't go very well. I don't know if he's still coming back. But, this was... while he was hot, his records were absolutely essential for their wayward impetuosity and strangeness. So there you go. And then what's this one? Oh, Michelangelo. This is his BBC Legends thing that's got Clementi and Chopin Sonata 2 and Beethoven's Opus 32, number 32, Opus 111, and 3 Scarlatti sonatas, which he plays with his usual digital, superhuman digital accuracy and pristine clarity and all of those things. More Andreas Steyer. Yes, this was his Telefunken, Das Alte Werk Teldec, including Scarlatti reincarnated in Remo by Irene Dish. Okay, well, there you go. It has Scarlatti. What said it? I don't even know what that is. I just listened to the disc. And it was perfectly fine. And let's see, he has a harpsichord by Keith Hill, Grand Rapids, Michigan, after German models, circa 1750. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's Steyer, and he's great. Oh, wow, yes. Scarlatti sonatas with Zuzana Ruzickova. Now, Ruzickova is one of the iconic figures in the revival of the harpsichord. The Czech musician who survived the concentration camps and came back and made an enormously successful career for herself in the music world. And she plays this big harpsichord with all kinds of bells and whistles and gizmos. And it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. This is one of my all-time favorite Scarlatti records. It's on Orfeo. And if you haven't heard Ruzickova do Scarlatti, you have not heard Scarlatti. Nowadays, she would be crapped on by everybody because her instrument is not a period instrument. It's not authentically period, all that bullshit. She was an amazing musician, and this is an amazing record. Absolutely. What's this one? Scarlatti 22 sonatas with Pierre Hantai. Now, Hantai did a whole bunch more. Wait a minute. I have them here. Let's get rid of them all at once. On the Mirare label. Here's volumes 1, 2, and 3 from his Mirare. This is different from these. He was a wonderful player, a splendid player. He still is a wonderful player. And the Mirare stuff was all boxed up in together in a clump, and I talked about those as a separate video. I did a separate video about them because they're just wonderful. So Scarlatti with Hantai is great on Mirare or Ovidis, whichever one you find. This one, let's see, Luc Beauséjour. I just love the name Beauséjour. Happy trip, whatever it means. This is 18 sonatas on Analecta. And he's a terrific pianist too. Really, really a pianist, keyboardist, keyist, whatever you call them. And it's an excellent disc. Absolutely excellent. He's Canadian. And this one is a bit of the Naxos Scarlatti on Piano series. This is volume 7 with Konstantin Sherbakov, because I like Sherbakov generally, and I think his work's really impressive, and this is a fine one. And then we've got, is this more of Luc Beauséjour, or is this someone else? Yes, more of Luc Beauséjour on Analecta. So we've got 2 of those, two Beaux Séjours. And oh yes, a little bit of Scott Ross. This is the most beautiful Scarlatti sonatas. It's 19 of the little suckers, played gorgeously on a variety of harpsichords and beautifully recorded. I mean, it's a classic series, and everyone should have some Scott Ross doing Scarlatti. It's just important stuff. And here we have, Clara Haskell doing her 11 Scarlatti sonatas on Westminster. Oh, what a lovely photo. Oh, good God. I mean, you know, they really, you know, did their artist a favor, don't you think? Doesn't she look happy? It's Mozart, the Mozart 20th Piano Concerto with the Winterthur Symphony Orchestra under Henry Svoboda. And finally, Scarlatti 11 sonatas, which are wonderful. I mean, Haskell was just, you know, a genius, and she plays the piano wonderfully. And last but not least, you got to have an extra copy somewhere, right? Horowitz, you know, the iconic Scarlatti guy who really made Scarlatti a name for generations of listeners. He was fantastic at this music, and he shows just how wonderful it can be at the piano. This is on Sony, when you have a pianist of genius and imagination and that right technical equipment, because it's not easy. So there you have it, my friends, some Overflow Scarlatti. What great music. It makes me happy just thinking about it. The music is such a joy. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.